ज्ञान यज्ञेन चापि अन्ये यजन्तो माम उपासते एकत्वेन पृथकत्वेन बहुधा विश्वतो मुखम. Hello friends, this is the 15th shlok of the 9th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, and today we will understand this shlok in detail. So let's first go over its meaning. So the shlok says Jnana Yagyena Chapya Anye, which means worship by knowledge Yagya and others, Yajanto Mam Upasate, which means worship by sacrifice, Ekatvena Prathakatvena, which means by unity, by separation, Bahudha Vishvato Mukham, which means many others, to the world form. So, in this shlok, Sri Krishna is telling Arjun about different ways in which people worship him, and he says that lot of people worship him through knowledge, others worship him through sacrifice, some worship him through unity, while others worship him through the separation, and many others worship him in the world form. So all these different ways of worshipping has been mentioned by Sri Krishna, and what he means over here is that all these methods actually are valid ways of worshipping him, and none is superior than the other. So we have to understand that there are different ways in which people worship the divine, and there is no single method which you can say that this is the best and all the others are useless. And if somebody tells you that, my method of worshipping the divine is the best and you should only follow my method, then you should always stay away from such a person, because such a person is bound to only his way of worshipping, and he would probably try to bind you also to that way. So the wise, they do not bind themselves to just one way of worshipping. They realize that there are many ways of worshipping the divine, and they respect all of those methods. So many people, they can worship the divine by gaining knowledge about him. That is what is the Jnana Yagya that Sri Krishna mentioned in the first line. So some people can worship him by knowing about him, by understanding him, by analyzing him, while others, they can offer their everything to the divine. So that is the Yagya version, Yajante, which means, so that is the method by wherein you basically just give up everything and dedicate everything to the divine. So that is another way of worshipping him. Some worship him by becoming one with him. So they become one with the divine and they realize the divinity within them. So they are the ones who follow the Advait philosophy. Then there are others who can worship him by separating themselves from the divine but then becoming his servant. So that is the Dvait philosophy or dualism. Advait is monism, of course. And then there are many others who can look at this entire universe as the divine manifesting himself, and so for him everything in this universe is divine, and he is a small part of that divine over there, and so he looks at the entire creation as the divine, with him being a portion of it. So that is what is the Vishisht Advait or the qualified monism technique, which have also been used by people. So all these methods actually are correct methods of worshipping Sri Krishna, and none is really superior to the other. It all depends on the person, how the person is. So it is a very unfortunate situation that people fight with each other in terms of how you should worship the divine. I think this is just a wastage of time, wherein people are engaging in just fruitless activity of trying to debate with each other that this is best way of worshipping him or that is the best way of worshipping him. There is no best way of worshipping him. Basically, everybody is different, everybody has a different sort of a relationship with the divine, and a person should build up on that relationship to reach the divine. So instead of wasting time in figuring out what is the best way, we should all focus towards getting to the divine. So this relationship of yours with the divine is a very personal thing, and it should remain personal. It should not become public, and if someone makes it public, then he basically moves the entire population away from the divine. So in the Hindu tradition, there is a respect being given to all these different methods of worshipping the divine, and we should always follow this part, as long as any of the one method is not interfering in the freedom of the other. Now if one way of worshipping starts to interfere in the way of worshipping of the other, then of course that should be opposed. But if it is not really interfering, that all methods of worshipping should be respected. So that was the message of this shlok. I hope that I have explained it well to you. With that, I'll close this video. I will see you all in the next video. Take care.